You might have seen in my other videos that I was using an indicator to detect my order blocks and fair value gaps. Well, I didn't use any from the public library on TradingView. I wrote these indicators myself. How, you might ask? Well, it's actually the most underrated thing in the trading world. I have been scripting and coding my own indicator and strategies for over 4 months now, and literally feels like cheating. Imagine you never have to do setups or backtesting anymore. I'm not joking. So, let's not waste our time and let's get straight to the point. Every single indicator or strategy you might have seen on TradingView is coded with the same coding language. This language is Pinescript. It is a very simple and probably the easiest to use coding language and is based on Python. Now let's look at an example of a code and its corresponding indicator. The code we're looking at is my reversal candle pattern indicator. It simply detects candle patterns that might indicate for a big reversal. Now let's see how I made this indicator. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it better. The first line of any Pinescript is always its version. We're always going to use version 5 because it's the newest and most common one. In the second line we write if it's either an indicator or strategy. We are going to look at how we program strategies in a second video. If you know how to code strategies, you'll never have to backtest your own strategies anymore. So, if this video gets 100 likes, I'll upload a video about them. But back to the actual code. In the brackets, there is the name you want to give you code, and if the overlay should be on or off. If it's on, it will plot the signals directly on the chart. Then, at the beginning of the code, there are variables which you can change in the Settings tab of the indicator. That's the reason why we should use variables instead of just numbers. You can simply change the value of a variable. You don't have to always manually adjust the numbers in your code. Then, we get the value of the 14-period ATR, which we'll be using later for the signal detection. We also define the minimum volume that is required to plot a signal, because we don't want to plot a signal if the volume is too low. It just won't have a big impact on price. And now we come to the actual detecting of the signals. For this example, we'll just look at a simple morning star. We define 3 variables, each for 1 candle in the morning star, and a last variable that checks if each of these 3 variables are true, and the volume also is high enough. Now back to the 3 variables. The first one is for the first candle in the morning star pattern. This candle simply has to be a red candle and bigger than the minimum candle size. On default, this is 0.9 times the ATR. We calculate the size of the candle by subtracting the close price of the open price. The 2 in the brackets is very important because it tells Pinescript that it is the candle 2 times back of the last candle in the pattern. The conditions for the second candle in the pattern make sure that if it is a green or a red candle, it is smaller than the borderline. On default, this is 0.12 times the ATR. I had to write to brackets, 1 in case the candle's green and 1 if it's red, because to calculate the candle size, we either have to subtract the open from the close or the close from the open. Then, the third candle. This one simply has to close higher, the open of the first candle. Now we know when the pattern is true, but you won't see a sign on the chart. For that, we need to plot it. For that, you write a plot shape and then specify in the brackets when it gets plotted. In this case, if the morning star pattern is detected, then what shape it should have, if it should be above or below the bar, what color the shape is, and how big the shape should be. And there you go. You just understood how to program a simple candle pattern algorithm. Now, knowing these basics can't stop you to write even more possible candle pattern signals. For example, I wrote 17 more patterns with some more conditions. For example, it only plots the signals if price is uptrending, aka the close price is over the EMA, which we defined beforehand. If you want to read the whole original code, click the first link in the description and paste the code into the Pine editor on TradingView. Also, check out my link tree with pre-made indicators. If you're interested in more of Pinescript, write it in the comments and subscribe. Then I'll publish and explain an advanced fair value gap indicator. Until next time.